Hey guys, it's Sekaar, and today we're going to be going over another one of my StamDK builds for the Scribes of Fate chapter. I think that this build is a lot of fun. I've been absolutely hitting like a truck on this build, and I've been having the time of my life. It's been actually the most fun I've had in a while. But I hope that you guys enjoy. We're going to be playing all the game footage again at the end of the video. That's going to be our new normal. So if you guys want to see how the build works in action, just wait until the end of the video. It shows it after I'm done explaining everything. But I really would appreciate it if you guys aren't subscribed to the channel. Please do so. It is free and it helps me out tremendously. But guys, that is it with me. Let's get on with the build. Alright guys, let's get started. We're going to look at our character sheet first. We're going to be an Imperial on our StamDK. I think Imperial is absolutely best in slot for this entire build. The reduced cost that you get from that is honestly nothing short of amazing. I know that it's the only race that you need to buy in the game, but honestly, I think it's definitely worth it. If you don't have Imperial, I think that the next suitable option would probably be Orc. I think Orc would be a really good choice as well, or maybe even something like Nord. I wouldn't mind trying Nord on this build, but overall, I think Imperial is really good on this. Our attributes are going to break down with 9 points into Magic, 13 points into Health, and 42 points into Stamina to give us a max Magic pool of 16.4k, a max Health pool of 31.2k, and a max Stam pool of 24k. Our Mundus is going to be the Warrior to increase our weapon and spell damage. And then we're also going to be using, I say weapon and spell damage, I'm sorry. We're just going to increase our overall weapon damage. We always want to build into weapon damage on DK because we can build higher because of the one passive that gives us minor brutality. So we could always build higher weapon damage with DK. Always go weapon damage. And then also we're going to be using Orzoga Smoked Bear Haunch to increase our max health by 4,300 and our stamina and magic recovery by 369 for 2 hours. And then also we're going to be Vampire Stage 3. Vampire Stage 3 gives us the Undeath passive. I will go to it right now. Undeath basically makes us super tanky, reduces the damage taken by up to 30% based on your missing health. So basically we just become tankier the lower health we are. Our monster set is going to be Bloodspawn because we're on a DK and I love monsters. I love Bloodspawn on DK. We're going to be using a heavy reinforced helmet and a light impen shoulder as well. So Bloodspawn is going to give us a line of stamina recovery, and then the two-piece is going to give us, when you take damage, you have a 6% chance to generate 13 ultimate, increase your physical and spell resistance by 3,700 for 5 seconds. So basically we become super tanky and we get our ult a lot faster, and DKs, honestly, they work really well with getting your ult gen because that's your overall sustain. And honestly, I just can't not use Bloodspawn. I just think it's too good, and I just really like it. And we're also going to be using a heavy chest piece of the fire in the reinforced trait. This is going to be on our body at all times, and this is going to give us a line of weapon and spell damage, a line of max stamina, a line of crit chance, and then also when you deal damage with a weapon, you're going to deal an additional 2,604 flame damage, and that can occur once every 2 seconds. So this is, I'm going to talk about this a little bit later on as well. I've been putting this on basically all my builds lately because honestly, it's just so OP. The tooltip gets to about 4k fully buffed up instead of that 2,600, and honestly, it is just chunky, people. I promise, if you haven't seen it yet, I'm going to explain it in a little bit, and you'll be seeing exactly what I mean by it, but I'm going to finish talking about what gear we're going to be running first before I talk about this. We're also going to be using medium Deja Trickery hands in Impen as well. Deja Trickery is going to be our back bar set, so this is going to give us a line of max health, a line of max stam, a line of max magic. And when you deal damage, you're going to gain 1 of 5 random buffs. So it's going to be either Major Expedition, Major Protection, Major Mending, Major Heroism, or Major Vitality. So basically, this is either going to make us super tanky, super fast, give us really good heals, or give us ultimate a lot faster. And honestly, that's just an overall win-win for me. You've got a lot of dots on this build, so you're always going to be getting damage out when you're on your back bar at some time. So this is going to be proccing all the time. So definitely make sure you're always keeping this active at all times. Also, we're going to be using medium Deja Trickery in Impen as well for our belt. And then medium Deja Trickery boots in Impen as well. Our jewelry is all going to be fire. We're going to be using a necklace of the fire in the infused trait with a weapon and spell damage enchantment on it with a stamina recovery on it. Same thing with our ring, weapon and spell damage infused with a stamina recovery on it. And On our ring, the other ring is going to be a bloodthirsty. Sorry, I know I said all infused earlier. We're going to be using a bloodthirsty ring with a reduced magic, health, and stam cost of your abilities. This is going to really help your sustain overall, and having one bloodthirsty is really going to help your overall damage when they're at lower health. Our front bar weapons are going to be dual-wield Master's Maces perfected. Our main hand is going to be Nirnhone, and our offhand is going to be Charged. What Master's dual-wield Maces do is the perfected line gives crit chance, so that's awesome. And then our two-piece gives us Twin Slashes, deals 1,635 more damage per each hit of the initial attack and the bleed as well. So it just makes your rending hit a lot harder. And I definitely recommend it. I am in Corrosive a lot on this build, so that's why we're doing Charge. We don't really need Sharpen for the extra pen. I like Charge for the extra little bit of status effects, but I mean really that doesn't really apply right now because I also have Poisons on here, which has been absolutely phenomenal. I've been loving using these double dot poisons. Having these on honestly, it just increases your overall pressure so much between your rending, your poisons, your wave of the fire proc, all of your other abilities. It is definitely phenomenal, and I love it so much. And then also our back bar weapon is going to be an Ice Staff of Deja Trickery in the defending trait with an increased weapon and spell damage enchantment on it. People are still asking why I use Ice Staff on my back bar. It is a very simple answer. The reason why I do this is because Ice Staff basically gives us where is it? Right here. Equipping an Ice Staff reduces the cost of blocking by 36% and increases the amount of damage you block by 20%. So it's basically a magic version of Sword and Shield, and I like to have at least a resource. I like to have a weapon that you can get both resources back. So my main hand, I'm getting it's dual wield, so I'm getting stamina back. And my back is going to be Ice Staff, so I can get magic back whenever I want. So honestly, I just think it's a really good way to just keep your options open as much as possible. Our skills are going to break down like this as well. As our main spammable, we're going to be using Rending Slashes. So this is going to give us a nice initial hit for your damage. Then honestly, it's also going to give you a nice heal over time, or damage over time. Sorry, not heal over time. And honestly, this is what's going to be proccing your Wave of the Fire. So the cool thing about Wave of the Fire is it procs every 2 seconds when you do damage with a weapon. That also counts. The conditions are also met with a weapon ability that leaves a dot as well. So every 2 seconds, because this is a weapon ability and it leaves a dot, every 2 seconds you are going to be proccing your Wave of the Fire as well. So you're doing both the damage of this and your armor set as well. So it is just extra damage, and I love it so much. We're also going to be using Shattering Rocks. This is going to be your main CC on this build. That way, you have a way to combo your abilities, and it's a really good way for you to take control of the fight. Being able to CC your enemies is huge, and I definitely recommend it. Molten Whip, this is going to be your main burst damage when you've completely dotted up your enemy and you have 3 stacks of Molten Whip. Right here, our tooltip unbuffed completely is 7,783 damage, but if we buff up completely, that way we can get all of our abilities up and running. We have a 3-stack whip right here. We can see that our ability... Oh, no, I don't know how to do it from here. Oh, I'm really bad at this. Our tooltip gets all the way up to basically 1500, and that's not even really fully buffed up because we're also going to be able to get our back bar glyph as well. So honestly, I think that's really high, and I'm really happy with that. We're really not building into Molten Whip. It's more of a dot pressure. So basically being able to hit this as well on top of all our dot pressure is going to be really good. And then Flames of Oblivion. This is I like this ability for 2 reasons. One, it hits really hard when you're in the middle of fighting, and it's just really good damage every 5 seconds. But on top of that, you're also going to get Major Prophecy and Savagery, increasing your weapon spell crit by 2,629. So this is going to be able to increase your chances of critting more often. And it's also going to proc one of your Seething Fury abilities on your Molten Whip as well. So between Flames of Oblivion and Noxious Breath right here, you hit between both of those, you hit them 3 times. You've got a fully stacked Molten Whip. You're ready to go. And then Noxious Breath, it is just a phenomenal skill. It's a great little kind of spammable in a way after you have your rending on them. It's going to apply major breach to them, so it's going to reduce your enemy's physical and spell resistance by 6k, so they're going to become a lot more squishy after you hit this on them. And honestly, when your enemies start roll dodging as well, this is a great ability to use because it goes right through roll dodge. And then also Take Flight. This is going to be our front bar ultimate. This is going to be a great way to just secure those kills. I like my back bar ultimate better, but this is a great way to secure that kill. And it honestly does a lot of damage too. If you need to combo it with your other abilities, it does a lot of damage. Our tooltip right now unbuffed is 15,000, so that just shows. Also, we're going to be using Igneous Weapon on this build. I like Igneous a lot instead of something like Degeneration or any other morphs that give you major brutality and sorcery, because this one lasts 1.2 minutes. So this is just a great way to just hit this ability once and then not really worry about it again, because you're just you don't really need to worry about keeping this buff up. It is just a long buff, and just being able to increase your weapon and spell damage for that long is huge. Also, Race Against Time. This is going to be a stacked ability. This is going to give you major expedition, so it's going to increase your movement speed by 30% for 4 seconds. So it's going to give you minor force, because we have a decent amount of crit on this build, so that's going to increase our critical damage by 10%. And on top of that, we're also going to be immune to snares and immobilizations for 4 seconds as well. So it's your nice snare removal as well. Also, Resolving Vigor. This is going to be your main heal over time. It's a nice 5-second heal that is just a great way to get your health all the way back up. And on top of that, you're also going to get Minor Resolve, increasing your physical and spell resistance by 3k for 20 seconds. And then you're also going to be using Coagulating Blood. This is going to be your main burst heal. This ability just absolutely chunks. Like, you can just get your health back up in 2 seconds, because this ability just shoots you right back up to full. Between Coag and Resolving Vigor, this is your main... These are your 2 heals, and honestly, it's so good between the 2 of them. Also, Volatile Armor is going to be our last ability on this. This is going to be our source of major resolves, which is going to increase our physical and spell resistance by 6k for 20 seconds. And also, we put in a little bit of a dot on our enemies, too, that get hit by this. So, I like this for the extra little bit of damage. I would use any kind of extra damage I can get on anybody at all times. So, Volatile Armor, I just like for that. And then Corrosive. What is there to say about Corrosive except for the fact that it is the best ultimate in the game? You become super tanky, so you're going to be your incoming damage is going to be limited to 3% of your max health, so you're going to be super tanky. And on top of that, enemies are going to be dealt poison damage every second to you for 12 seconds. And then on top of that, the most important part is you're going to be ignoring your enemy's physical and spell resistances, so they're going to be super squishy. It doesn't matter how much armor they have on, you're going to be going right through it, and they're going to be just turning into paper, and you're going to be absolutely just deleting them. I love it so much. Then finally, our champion points, our blue slottables are going to be Cleansing Revival, Ironclad, Master at Arms, Focus Mending. Our red slottables are Sustained by Suffering, Survival Instincts, and Celerity, and Pain's Refuge. And our green slottables, the only things that we really care about are Breakfall right here, Rationer, and Liquid Efficiency. Guys, that is the entire build. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. It is free, and it genuinely helps me out so much. We're trying to get to 10k subs by the end of 2023. We're about at that 5,500 mark, so it's a long ways away, but with each person that subs, if we get a lot of people that sub on this video, that'd be absolutely massive, and then we'd be one step closer. I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you want to see builds like this live in action, you can catch me live at twitch.tv/Sekaar, where I stream 5 days a week, so come on, stop by and say what's up. But thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you guys staying till the end of the video. I really do enjoy this build a lot. It's a lot of fun. So I hope that you guys enjoy it too. And I will see you guys on the next video. Later.
summoning this.